everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany and today's video is going to be a little bit about why I took a break for golf for 6 to 8 months, I would say. So make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. And let's just get on with the video. So, the first thing that I want to introduce is just my background with golf. So, growing up, I started to do junior golf around maybe 10 years old, if I had to guess. 11, just throughout the summer, just a couple years, anything crazy, nothing competitive. So I really wanted to get into golf more. I was torn between cheerleading and golf, and I thought that golf would have a better scholarship for me for college, so I chose golf. I got pretty competitive in golf towards the age of 14, I would say. I got private lessons and worked with many different coaches. So it was really a big change from nothing, just a few times in the summer to almost every single day, being pressured a lot. So the next thing that I kind of want to go into is how I was pressured into that and how it really affected me and what you should stand for and what you should not stand for. So this will be the first time that I'm sharing something super personal on here about my own life. I just encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions or any prayer requests, or if you are living in a similar situation like this. I would love to help you and talk to you about everything. So, my dad was the one that truly got me into golf. He would take me to all my lessons. He helped me pick out my clubs, my bags, kind of explain the whole game to me with the help of some coaches as well. So I believe that he kind of wanted to meet his goals through me. Like, he couldn't achieve certain goals in his life, so he wanted to put pressure on me to achieve goals for him, to make him feel better about himself. So that was really hard. It was really hard having someone on you 24/7. Hey, you gonna golf today? Which, let me say, nothing is wrong with like occasionally asking someone if they're going to practice today. It's the repetitiveness of it and the abuse that goes along with golfing with my dad or whoever you are practicing or even being around. So I would say the repetitiveness is a very big key detail in all of this. Nothing is wrong with asking someone if they're golfing today, but in my circumstance, it was something that was annoying me and putting pressure on me. So I went to go have private lessons, which was very helpful for me. I also played in a lot of tournaments in the summer. So my dad wanted me to sign up for the TJGA, which is the Texas Junior Golf Association. Wasn't really a fan of doing it. I hadn't gotten into golf that far yet and wasn't interested in traveling and playing with girls I'd never even met before or seen. But I was forced to anyway. I played a couple tournaments. I played horrible, no surprise. And I believe it was only me and my dad there. Not fun. It was not fun at all. But I did it and I went. And I had no choice really. But in the back of your mind, you're getting ready to hit your shot and you're like, what is my dad thinking? What negative thoughts is he having towards me? What is he gonna say if I hit a bad shot? What are the people that I'm gonna play with think when he raises his hands and slaps his legs? All things that are going through my head while I'm just trying to hit one shot. So this, as you can see, happens a lot. As you can imagine, playing golf, you hit so many shots. So very hard, a lot of thoughts running through my head, a lot of worry in my head as well. So a little bit about just like the practices of golf or practicing times of golf. So A lot of the time I would get out of school, my dad would be golfing with his friends, and he would say, come over here and play a couple holes with us. Well, I never wanted to go play a couple holes because it wasn't ever just a couple holes. And I laugh, but it was very confusing for me. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't strong enough to say, no, I'm not going to, because he's my dad. You listen to your parents. But in this situation, it wasn't right to listen to him, or even some of the advice that he would give me. So I would go, I would hit a bad shot, and all in front of his friends, he's screaming at me, telling me that I'm worthless, making me feel like I have no value, which is so not true. But looking back, I would just sit in the golf cart, I would be quiet while he yells at me, and try to hide my tears. That's the reality. I'm not gonna make this stuff up. That's what I went through for a very long time, for years. I didn't think I'd cry, but here I am, just sharing how real abuse really is and how it can affect you. I haven't golfed with my dad in at least over a year, so I've had a lot of time to process all of this. But it's still been hard even going to the golf course that we used to golf at. So there was only a few times that his friends would stick up for me, but overall they didn't, and that was really hard as well because they witnessed the abuse and they witnessed him screaming at me, just inappropriate things, throwing clubs, getting angry, yelling. They knew how I felt just by like my emotions. I was crying. I would just like sit out some holes, even though I knew he didn't like that. But the hard thing was, if I spoke up to him and stood my ground, it would be even worse. So if he told me that I hit a bad shot and explained why, but yelling at me and in an abusive way, and I stood up for myself and was like, hey, this is why I did this instead, it just didn't go well. It's always his way or no way. So really it was just better to keep your mouth shut than to speak up and then be yelled at even more. So looking back, I'm like, wow, why did I let this happen to me? But you're in this situation that you don't know what to do, and you feel like the best thing to do is just be quiet. Looking back, don't be quiet. Stand up for yourself, even if it is someone so close to you, like it was my dad. Also, just a reminder, things aren't always what they seem like. I know that things can seem perfect and happy and all good from the outside, but deep down, they can be horrible. So I would say, I don't really know how many people at the golf course knew about my situation. I knew a lot of people knew that my dad was angry and a hothead and wasn't too fun to play with. But I don't know how many people knew about the abuse situation. So yeah. Girls, I know a lot of you, especially girls that I've golfed with, I've talked to you, and a lot of you are like, oh, I wonder what my dad's gonna be like after the tournament, like, which I know it's normal. Dads want to be like, they want their daughter or son to win and be competitive. Most dads, I don't want to speak for all. But from my experience, a lot of girls that I played with have been like, oh gosh, I don't want to tell my score to my dad. Which is fine. Like, your dad can want you to do the best and want you to win. I think everyone should want to win and have that drive and hard work. But there's a line that needs to be drawn, and that's where boundaries come in place as well. So the reason that I took a break from golf, the whole reason I'm sharing about this video, or about my life with golf, is to just say that it's okay to need rest. It's okay to take time to yourself, and just reflect on what you really want for your life. My whole life was controlled by my father, and this past year away from him has been very hard, very challenging, sad, confusing, happy moments, but very hard, challenging, different, very different. Like I said, even going to the golf course is very hard. I would see his friends up there, and I would wonder, what do they think of me? And these are his friends that I would golf with almost every day. And now I feel so distant from them because of my dad, because of one person. He has affected so many of my relationships, sadly. So that's a downfall. I'm so blessed that I have the opportunity to even be here and to share my story with a lot of you guys, and hopefully save so many of you and bring you closer to God. I know I would be putting on the green, and to get from hole 9 to hole 10, you have to go through right by the putting green. So I would check the tee sheet to see if my dad was playing that day. If he was, I would either go with someone else or I would go by myself and pray, like, a lot of the time. I would really try to go with someone else because it's hard to be alone in that situation. Like, I didn't know if my dad was gonna come up to me. And at this point, I hadn't seen him for a while. So I was very conflicted. I didn't know what to do. So I would either go with someone else, which worked out very well. I had someone to fall back on. I had someone to stand up for me if I couldn't and didn't have the strength. But as I built up that strength more and more, and the courage and my boundaries, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wasn't going to take. That helped me to just go by myself and be like, you know what? Even if he comes up to me, I'm strong enough to tell him to go away and to not talk to me. As I was healing, it's hard to have the abuser communicating with you and possibly abusing you again as you're trying to heal, because you're already trying to heal from the past things, and then you have another traumatic event possibly happen. So I wanted to prevent anything that I could. So if I knew that he was going to be going from hole 9 to hole 10 and I was on that putting green, I would just pray. I would putt, but I would be closing my eyes and just praying that if it's in God's will for me to see my dad, then give me the right words to say, Lord, and I will say them, and everything will be okay. And if it wasn't in my will to see him, or in God's will, not my will, then I would just pray that I'm okay with that as well, and that that's what happens. So out of those 6 to 8 months, going back to the golf course, I only saw him, I want to say like 3 times. It was always, he would wave at me and say, hey Britt. One time, it's embarrassing, but he blew me a kiss. It's like, what do you do? Like, I know the things that you're doing, and I know that the things are really, really bad, and that I don't want to be a part of them, but you're blowing me a kiss like everything's okay. So again, very confused, very, very confused, conflicting things. There was another time where I was sitting in a golf cart, and he drove by in another golf cart and said, hey Britt. And I knew that if I saw him, I didn't want to talk to him because something had been going on, some conflict. I knew it. I was kind of upset at him, so I wanted to not say anything, so I didn't say anything, and just really, like, not even responding to him made me feel better and like I had control, which is so, like, weird to say out loud because I didn't even say anything and I felt like I had control. Whereas before, I didn't say anything and I had zero control at all. Felt like I had zero control at all. So it's been a weird year. Things are getting much better. I am still not talking to my dad. I don't know when that day will come. Things are a lot harder, especially it being my senior year, not having a dad to see me do all these things in my golf season, and just certain milestones that I'm going through in life. But I know that God will fill that void and that I'm going to be strong and come out of this super strong and be able to help so many young girls out there, and so many people. So anyway, I just want to say to make sure you stand up for yourself. Don't let people walk all over you. If you have any questions or want to talk about this, please message me. This is why I'm making these videos, to help so many of you. So I think that's it. So the types of things that he would be saying when I would be golfing would be like, oh, you idiot, why'd you hit that shot? Or why'd you pick that club? I remember at golf tournaments, he would throw his hands up and hit his legs. Everyone can hear that. Like, it's embarrassing for me. I don't want to hear that. He tried to get me to cheat multiple times in a tournament. He would always come up to me and try to talk to me and tell me, you know, you should hit this club or you should go this way instead. Really just not letting me learn on my own. So it's really just doing me even worse than letting me learn on my own. I might score better, but I don't feel better about my round that day. Which this goes for any sport as well, not just golf. But I am so blessed to have a scholarship from Newman, and I'm so excited to golf and make new memories, make some new friends, and be able to golf for the rest of my life. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.